Hold on. I got my Kleenex. I got to wipe my Jeff Capel tears because I think he's still crying over the officiating. What is up, and welcome to this live edition, this post-game live reaction to West Virginia's 71-49 victory over the Pitt Panthers. That's right, 71-49. Absolute domination in this game by West Virginia, who actually trailed at one time in the game in the first half, came back, took a lead into the locker room, and never looked back. Took a 34-25 lead into the half, and then outscored Pitt even more in the second half, 37-24. For me, the MVP of this basketball game, and I don't even think it's arguable, it has to be Harlan Obioha. Big Harlan, as Coach Hodge likes to call him. Absolute wonderful performance by the big man down low, pouring in 19 points on 8 of 9 shooting, 3 of 4 from the foul line, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover in 31 minutes. Harlan Obioha is, to me, a pleasant surprise. He's actually turned out to be a better player, at least so far, than even I thought he would be. You know, I thought he'd come in, he'd be a decent defender, he'd be able to take up space in the middle, be a decent passer out of the post. Boy, is he doing much more than that. He's scoring the ball around the rim. He's making good passes. He's playing good defense. He's doing it all. So Harlan Obioha is my most valuable player. I've also got to give a shout out to Jasper Floyd, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers, only 6 total turnovers tonight by the Mountaineers. I said it would be a difference in the game because I thought West Virginia could turn Pitt over. They did. Pitt turned it over 12 times to West Virginia's 6. Now, West Virginia's been forcing 16 a game. Pitt only turned it over 12, but still, it was enough because West Virginia only turned it over 6. So it made a huge, huge difference in the game. And when you look at the points off turnovers, that's the big difference right there. West Virginia got 21 points off of those 12 turnovers. So they scored on just about every one of them. Whereas Pitt only had 8 points off turnovers. So those extra possessions really, really helped West Virginia. The defense was absolutely phenomenal in this game for the Mountaineers. Hats off to Coach Hodge and his team and his staff for putting together a great game plan and for executing that game plan and just for the effort they played with, man. They come out and played with great effort. Their defense was so on point for most of the game. They had a few lapses here and there, but for the most part, man, this style of defense he's playing is one that I'm not, I don't watch. It's just a different defense. It's man-to-man, but it almost looks like zone at times. They really cut off the middle of the court, middle of the floor on in the half court, force you to do everything around the perimeter. It's that. Some people call it no middle. Some people call it pack line, whatever. It's that style of defense. And boy, did they execute it well tonight. Hats off to the Mountaineers. I hate to get too excited because I know there's still a long way to go. And we still don't know how good of a team Pitt is. But anytime you can beat the Panthers by 22 points, we got to celebrate that, right? It's worth celebrating. Huge win for the Mountaineers tonight, in my opinion. Again, how's it going to affect the rest of the season? We don't know. But this team made a lot of strides tonight. And let's remember, they still did this without Chance Moore and without Jackson Fields, who should be back, hopefully both be back in a few weeks or a few days. Chance Moore has to sit out one more game, then he'll be eligible to return. And he should help this basketball team. Now, let's go and talk team stats a little bit. Field goal percentage, Pitt shot at 38% to West Virginia's 43%. 3-point field goal percentage, West Virginia was 29%. Pitt was 25%. West Virginia 7 of 24. Pitt 5 of 20. West Virginia did not shoot the ball well from 3. I thought they would shoot it better in this game. And I said that was a key to the game. Didn't work out, but they ended up winning in spite of that. And I'll get to the reason why in a minute. Obviously, the turnovers was a big piece of that, but there's more to it. Free throw percentage. West Virginia, I said they've got to shoot better free throws. They did it. 16 of 21 from the line. Pitt only took 6 free throws in this game, made 4 of them, 67%. Now, were there some questionable calls? Yes. But you know what? It's part of the game. So take your crying towel or your tissue, Jeff Capel, and get on down the road and quit your whining. Take it like a man. You got your tails beat. 71-49. Anyway, let's get back to it. West Virginia did a great job from the free throw line tonight. One of the things they needed to correct, they did better tonight. We talked about the turnovers already and the points off turnovers. West Virginia had only turned it over 6 times to Pitt's 12. West Virginia got 21 points off of Pitt's 12 turnovers. Pitt was only able to get 8 points off the turnovers, which, again, when you only turn it over 6 times, they're not going to get points off turnovers, right? It's easy math. Here is another huge factor in the game. I knew that. I just said, hey, Pitt's going to beat West Virginia on the glass. I was confident in that. I didn't have a lot of faith in our Mountaineers to rebound the basketball tonight. So I said they've got to make their shots, because if they don't, they're going to get eat up on the glass. Guess what? They out-rebounded Pitt 34-31 overall, 26-25 on the defensive glass, and 8-6 on the offensive glass. Outstanding. For a team who has been out-rebounded 2 of their first 3 games by low major teams to come out and out-rebound Pitt, who, again, not sure how great they are, but they are a power 4 team with two guys in the lineup at 6'10" and a lot of length, and who had been rebounding the ball pretty well. And you come and you out-rebound them 34-31. It's effort, for the most part, by Obioha, Lorient, and those guys. Just good team rebounding. There was not one guy really. There was not one person who had double-digit rebounds. It was just a good team effort all around. Second chance points, I mentioned the offensive rebounding. 8 offensive rebounds by West Virginia led to 9 second chance points to Pitt's 0. Again, just rebounding and forcing turnovers and capitalizing on those opportunities. That was the difference in the game. 15-7 West Virginia bench points. 32-20 West Virginia advantage in points in the paint. Obioha obviously had 19 of those 32. West Virginia had 10 fast break points to Pitt's 9. Each team had 5 blocks. How about that block by Brendan Lorient, by the way, early in the game? That was something else. Really special. West Virginia had 6 steals to Pitt's 4. And 13-12 in assists, again in favor of the Mountaineers. It was tied for 13 seconds. There were 4 lead changes. All of them were in the first half. Pitt led for 8 minutes, 15 seconds. West Virginia led for 31 minutes and 10 seconds. When you look at the rebounding numbers, because that's what I want to talk about for a minute, I mentioned good team rebounding. I mentioned Obioha having 6. Lorient had 3. Floyd had 5 from the point guard spot. Honor Huff had 5, the 5'10" shooting guard, 5 rebounds. Treysen Eaglestaff had 1. Amir Jenkins had 2. D.J. Thomas, 10 points, 5 rebounds. A great game for him. 4 for 9 from the floor, 2 for 5 from 3. That young man has a bright future. Very under-recruited, it looks like. Was not recruited by a ton of Power 4 schools, if any. He was going to go to North Texas, follows Hodge to West Virginia, and he's out there playing 22 minutes of ball against Pitt in the Backyard Brawl. Awesome stuff. Morris Ugasuk only had 3 points, hit that big three-pointer late in the shot clock there in the second half. Also had 2 rebounds. So just a really, really good team win by this basketball team. For Pitt, Cameron Corhen led them with 12 points. Also had 10 rebounds a game, 55 a game, something like that. Goes out and holds a Power 4 opponent to 49 points. They were averaging 76 coming in, again, against more inferior competition. I get it. You hold them to 49 points. So, well done. If they can continue, because they should get even better. That's what excites me about this, and it's why it's hard not to get excited, because this team, this is only their 4th game playing together, 4th game that counts playing together. They should only get better from here. That's why I'm so excited. want to give a shout. I've got a super chat coming in from Mark Painter. Defense. Thank you, Mark Painter, for the $5 super chat, my brother. Thank you for the support. You deserve an applause, my man. For some reason, my volume was not working very well. Make sure I didn't miss any other super, but because I didn't have my volume on, I could have missed some others. Let me make sure I didn't. All right. Looks like there are no more, but I do want to thank you all for jumping in here on this post-game live stream. It probably won't be a long one, but I wanted to come on here and celebrate this win with you guys. Just, the statistics I read kind of speak for themselves, right? Great defense, rebounding the basketball, making your free throws. Simple stuff. Stanley Metz, who was at the game, thanks for chiming in, brother. He says, wow, what a game. Defense. Yes, absolutely, Stanley. Thank you, sir, for chiming in. Much appreciated. I just about broke out the old coonskin cap for this game because that's what I normally wear, after big wins. But I'm like, you know what? It's got to be a special win to pull it out. Didn't really feel like this quite made it. Now, if they beat Houston or Kansas or somebody like that, maybe we will. But for this one, even though it's the Backyard Brawl, you know what? Let's only do the coonskin cap for very special occasions, right? It's got to be special. Got John Kelly in the house. We have Seymour Wang. I don't even like saying your name, man. Let's call it what it is. West Virginia loves gritty, tough players, and our boys have been tougher than Tarzan's feet. We got Leo Cole in the house. We have Sean Murray in the house. Nathan Scott. Kevin Varney, who's a paid VIP member. Thank you, Kevin. He says, we came out cold as ice and went down and never panicked. Absolutely, brother. Well said. When they did not shoot the ball well from the outside. And again, I thought they needed to do that to win this game, but I never envisioned them playing as well down low as they did. Harlan Obioha, I think it was Voice of Morgantown put out a tweet earlier listing off a few players they thought while watching this game, a few players they thought were Big 12 material. I was going to see if I could find it. And they left Harlan Obioha's name off of it, man. He said, here's what they said. They said legit Big 12 players on WVU's roster: Jasper Floyd, Brennan Lorient, D.J. Thomas, Chance Moore, and Amir Jenkins in the future. I said, I re-quoted it and said Harlan Obioha. He played like a Big 12 big man tonight. Did he not? 19 points. Now, I'd like to see Harlan get a little bit more rebounds, but I just don't think that's his game. He's not a superb rebounder. But, man, here's what I noticed about his game tonight. I was watching him a little bit more closely. He had, and the announcers even mentioned it too, but the soft hand. Man, he has such great hands. If you throw the ball near him, he's going to catch it. That is unbelievably valuable in a big man. The ball comes up, whether it's a rebound, whether you're throwing it to him down low on the post, whatever it is. When you got a big man when you're passing it to him on a fast break or on a drive to the basket, when you've got a big man who has hands like that and can catch the ball so well, man, it makes things so much easier for him and for his teammates. That's one of the biggest things I noticed about Harlan Obioha is his hands. We've heard Coach Hodge talk about his feet. He's obviously shown that he has very quick feet for a big guy, but his hands is what really impresses me, man. He very seldom bobbles a ball. He very seldom drops a ball. He catches it cleanly. He can put it up off the glass, dunk it, whatever he needs to do with those soft hands. Got another super chat I probably need to get to here, I believe. Yep. Browns and Beers in the house. Thank you, Browns and Beers, for this donation, my brother. He says, this deserves the coonskin, Couz. All right, brother. All right. I got you. There we go. We got the coonskin cap on, Browns and Beers. Thank you, my man, for the $20 super chat. It's very much appreciated. All right. Daniel Gigax, another VIP, says that was what we needed. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Kenny Evans, I think this team can run deep in tourneys. We'll see. We will see. I do want to say I'd like to see a little more. I don't mean to be – I hate to be negative. You know what I mean after this, but I've got to be real. I'd like to see a little more out of Treysen Eaglestaff. Look, he did some good things tonight on defense. Passed the ball well. He has got to be more aggressive. When you are a scorer like Treysen Eaglestaff, you can't hesitate. A couple of different times he had shots, and he passed those shots up for either a worse shot or to try to pass it to somebody else who's not as good at shooting the ball as he is. When you're a scorer, he basically just needs to be more selfish with the basketball. He seems like his confidence is down a little bit right now. And I'm sure Coach Hodge is giving him time to work his way out of that, and hopefully he will. Because we've seen flashes of it, when he stepped up and made that big three. When he doesn't think and he just reacts and shoots the basketball, he can score it. But he still looks like he's thinking too much out there, especially on the offensive end. So let's hope a few more games in, it'll start to click for him. Because, man, once it does, if it starts to click for him and he can start scoring the basketball at a higher clip, look out, man, because this team can be special, I think. But he needs to – it's going to have to click for him at some point. If it don't eventually click, then maybe you look at bringing him off the bench. I don't know. Maybe you even try that now. Maybe that'll help him a little bit. Put a little bit less pressure on him. I don't know. Some guys are better coming off the bench. Now, he's been a starter his whole life. I know that. But maybe in this situation, bench him like, look, this is not a punishment. Or maybe it is. I don't know. And I don't know. Maybe you try something different. But whatever it is, I still like he's still playing hard with effort. He's still, getting his teammates involved and helping in other ways. But, man, he was brought here to score the basketball, and I'd love to see him do that more consistently and be more aggressive on the offensive end of the floor. John Kelly says Obioha was such a force. Best game of his so far. He was bigger than anyone on the Pitt side. Definitely. And I thought if he could use that to his advantage, it might be good and he might be able to draw some fouls, get to the line, which he did a little bit. But I didn't see him getting 19. I didn't see him getting 19. I really didn't. Great game by Big Harlan, as Coach Hodge likes to call him. Kevin Varney says our nutrition program is 100% responsible for his development. This is huge. Freedom in the house. Says, what a game that was. They tried to make a comeback. West Virginia said, no, we're going to skin that cat. I love it. Browns and Beers, yes. Tosh Miller in the house. Says, Harlan lacks bounce in his step. He really needs to lose more weight to get more spring in his jump and better stamina. But he's got great court vision and solid around the rim. Absolutely, Tosh. And that's something that may come over time in the season as he, plays more minutes in this system, right? Against better competition too. It's going to speed him up a little bit, so maybe that'll automatically get him in shape. We'll see. But, man, I tell you, if DJ Thomas can keep playing the way he's playing coming off the bench, man, we're not really you don't really take that much of a step back without Harlan in there, man. He comes in and knocks down a couple threes. Just looked really good. We got Jacob Yoho in the house. If we beat Pitt, you better wear it. We got Freedom again, says, on top of the fact it's a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be. It's also a great night to smash the like button and subscribe. Listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. He's a smart guy. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you're watching it on the replay, and on your mobile device, you might see a button below that says hype. Why don't you hit that one for me too? It really helps me out. And the thumbs up. There's a thumbs up button below and a subscribe button below. If you don't know what we're talking about, look for those. If you're watching on TV, you can click it with your remote. Your computer, you can click it with your mouse, and, of course, your finger on your mobile device. WVU Fan 13 says, I'm listening to the post game with Tony and Ross. Ross' first comment stated he was sending condolences to the family of the coal miner that was lost. Dude is absolutely first class. Yes, that's. I'm glad you mentioned that, WVU Fan 13. There was a missing coal miner. I think it was in Nicholas County, West Virginia. After an extensive rescue effort, unfortunately, they did find him, but he was deceased. So prayers up for that family losing their loved one. Coal miners are held dear here in the state of West Virginia, as most of you know. And, when a miner dies, it's almost like the whole state mourns, So hats off, or I'm sorry, condolences rather, to that family, and hats off to Ross Hodge for those comments in his post game. Just absolutely, Ross Hodge is a class act. It's pretty obvious. Kenny Evans says, "Let's beat Sun Devils. Be a great week." Like me and Jonathan was talking on our Golden Blue Breakdown show, man. If West Virginia women or West Virginia men win tonight, if the West Virginia women can go beat Duke tomorrow night, if West Virginia football can win on Saturday, boy, it'd be a great weekend, wouldn't it? And then if we're lucky enough to get Miles Sadler to commit on Sunday, to would be the highest rated recruit in the history of West Virginia basketball, some say. Man, what a weekend it would be, right? One down, 4 or 5 things to go? Starting is earned. I agree, Tosh. And right now, just to be honest with you, I think DJ, maybe a one-game sample size is enough to say this, but I think DJ Thomas is outplaying Treysen Eaglestaff. But I understand Hodges what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to let Treysen play through this slump or whatever it is he's in. He wants him to play through it and get out of this funk, and he doesn't want him to lose his confidence. And if you bench him, it might hurt his confidence, and it might be what he's struggling with in the first place. You know what I mean? So I don't have an issue with him sticking with him right now, but man, at some point he's going to have to snap out of it and start being himself and start playing ball. Browns and Beers says, this feels to me like the early press Virginia teams. Could make a run, could lose or not make it, but they have a great defense that won't always travel. Won't always travel? I thought defense always traveled. Maybe I'm confused. Or maybe I read it wrong. I don't know. Seymour says, I was bullish until the announcer implied Houston's defense may have company. That's the first comparison we've had to a national power in quite some time. Yeah, I heard that comment as well. I was actually preparing for my show here, trying to put the finishing touches on it. I heard them say that, and I kind of did a double take. I was like, what? Did they just say what I think they said? That's big, man, but I'm not quite ready to go there yet. I want to see them do this against, again, I don't know that Pitt's a bad team, but I also don't know how good they are. It's too early to tell yet. Can they do this against Big 12 competition, against teams like, Kansas and Iowa State and Houston? Can they do it against Clemson? Can they do it against Wake Forest? Can they continue playing this? I think they can, because I think that's just the DNA of this team and of the coaching staff, to be honest. And it all starts at the top with Ross Hodge. I think that's just who they are. But there may be nights that they don't rebound it as well as they did tonight, or there may be nights they play a team who makes more of their shots, and you're going to have to play a little bit better on the offensive end those nights too, in order to win. So they still have work to do on the offensive end of the floor, in my opinion, especially when it comes to shooting the basketball, because they didn't, at least from the outside, they shot it well from inside tonight. But when you start playing these teams in the Big 12 who are super physical down low, Pitt's not a very physical team. When you start playing these Big 12 teams that are more physical and they might be able to limit Harlan a little bit, you're going to have to hit more of those outside shots. Nathan says push-ups are at full force at the Hodge house tonight with the eat shit Pitt chance. Well, I think that's only if his kids say it, though. Maybe his kids didn't say it. I don't know. H. Bar Farkle in the house. He says it. Eat shit Pitt. Thank you, H. Bar Farkle. Appreciate it, brother. Got Dustin Hammond in the house. He says, I wonder if Ross Hodge understands the Backyard Brawl now. I know he thought he did. Let's go, WVU. JDK says, ESP never felt so good. Freedom says, what a heroic coal miner to save 17 people. A selfless act. Absolutely, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Big Dan T in the house. You got it, brother. You got it. Shaggy of WV, beating Spit at football and in hoops. Love it. Hey, did you hear the chant? The crowd was going, Just like football. I love it. I love it. I love it. Shaggy says, proud of this team. I believe in them to win a lot of tough games this season. Love how Coach Rod, and John Kelly says, love how Coach Rod and Coach Hodge turned the tables on Pitt already as a program. Yeah. I mean, look what Pitt did to us last year. Blew us out of the gym. Beat us in football. This year, the script has been flipped. No doubt about it. Seymour says, thanks, Couz and Chad. I always look forward to these. Have a great week. And ESP. Thank you, Seymour. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hopping on in. Let me see if I can find any more stats. Try to get some of these into the deeper stats, so to speak, in this game. Anything interesting? Let's see. Visitor stats, play-by-play, scoring, shooting. Points allowed, net points. Yeah, I don't really see anything that sticks out right now necessarily. All right, here we go. Scoring breakdown. Two-pointers, West Virginia 34, Pitt 30. West Virginia still made 21 threes to Pitt's 15 because they had more shots at the rim. And 30% of West Virginia's shots came from three. 31% of Pitt's shots came from three. West Virginia had 2 dunks to Pitt 6. West Virginia had 24 layups to 14. 32 of their shots came in the paint. Or points, rather, I guess, came in the paint, not shots. So, yeah, that was a scoring breakdown a little bit. Look at the run tracker. There were some good runs in this game. I'm trying to look what that big run was. 5, Pitt 3, Pitt 8. Nah, never mind. But anyway, just a very exciting night. Very good night to be a Mountaineer fan tonight. Big win over the arch rival. Thank you all for hopping on here. I really don't have a whole lot else to talk about, but just want to get out here and celebrate with you all tonight. Thanks for hopping on with me. Again, thanks to Nathan and John and Seymour. John Kelly. Yes, thank you, John, man. He says, Couz, I want to give a shout out to my dad and Jack Fleming watching from above. John, prayers for you tonight, brother. I know I can see you're thinking about your dad, who you lost somewhat recently. So thinking about you tonight, brother. And thank you for hopping on this live stream with me. As always, you were one of my very first subscribers, brother. I remember you from the beginning. So thank you so much. Came over from Golden Blue, dude. I remember, man. So thank you so much. A lot of you folks in here have been with me since the beginning, really. And I want to just give you all a shout out and thank you for all the support. You guys have seen me get over 10,000 subs. Now we're on our way to 20,000. But you guys are obviously to thank for that. Freedom says, not that we should compare necessarily, but how would you take this team right now versus last year's team? Yeah, it's too early to compare, really, Freedom, because this team started off rough. I won't say rough. They didn't look very good, and then all of a sudden they reeled off 3 or 4 major wins in about a 2-week time frame, right? Or about a 1 month, about a month and a half, right? They beat Gonzaga, then Arizona. Then a few weeks later, they beat Iowa State, right? So they reeled off some real big wins early in the year after losing to Pitt, getting blown out by Pitt. So I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit and just see how they do the rest of the way. A little bit too early to compare. But I do like what I see so far, especially the fact that they're building the team with defense first. I think that's the right way to go. And so, yeah, let's wait and see. Kent Fultz says, I admit I may have been wrong about this team. They have a chance to be really good. Dustin Hammond says, 100,000 subs. Are you going to dress up as the Mountaineer for the episode? Buddy, if I do this long enough to get 100,000 subs, I might not be dressing up like anything because I'll probably be on a walker by the end because that's going to take a long time, man. WVU Fan 13 says, to big games coming up in a couple weeks, Clemson and Ohio State will tell us where we will be with full roster running. Agreed. Who was out tonight, Tosh? Because I saw let me see. Corhen played. Conte played. Who didn't play? Who am I missing? I don't have the whole roster in front of me, but I'm just trying to remember who it is I'm missing. I know those are their two guys that are both 6'10". I'm just trying to remember who it is that's their big. Henry of Scallots says, 100,000, you got to go shirt off and spin it above your head. You do not want me to do that. I'd have to get in better shape first. Heck, I might do that at 20,000. I don't know. Brian Frey, John Kelly. Brian Frey's in the house. He says, so far it is not a one-man show like this year. This is more of a team, in my opinion. Yeah, well, last year was going to be like that until Tucker DeVries got injured. And then it all fell on Javon Small. And, of course, Jaden Stone never even got to play. But anyway. All right, well, listen, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. Thank you so much for hopping on this quick 30-minute live stream. Just wanted to get on here and just kind of celebrate together. I know it wasn't a real detailed breakdown, but it's all good, man. We can celebrate this win together. That's what it's all about. Thank you all so much for hopping on. Let's go Mountaineers and Q Country Roads, baby.